Hello, 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 everybody, all my gorgeous and beautiful souls. This is Breaking the Cage. This is Breaking the Cage Astrology TV for September 15th through the 21st. Wow. Just first off, I have so much I've got to say, and we use StreamYard, and I pre record these videos because I have someplace I have to be this evening. But, I pre-record these videos so that I can bring it out when it goes live. In order for me to get everything out, I have to have the video done by 40 minutes in order for it to go live. Otherwise, StreamYard will deny it and won't allow it to go forward. So I have a ton to talk about. And a lot of this is medical astrology. A lot of this is getting into the body, the blueprint. This week, it is major energy, major shifting, major. You have the equinox this week, the fall equinox. We have it on a full moon. This automatically is bringing a 19-year cycle to a close, meaning this is going back to the beginning of the cycle in 2005. Starting the cycle, bringing it to an end now in a Pisces full moon. Then you have the partial lunar eclipse on top of it. So just so much going on here. And then on top of it, we've been having, you hear about everybody talking about the Schumann resonance and it's spiking up over 100 and so forth. And what I'm really getting is more like it's flatlining, like it's going offline and coming back online in the form of rebuilding her strength and her vibration. And I've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it about us. Our human bodies are starting to acclimate to the changes of what this planet is doing. I said a couple months back around the Lion's Gate that and I had posted it. I think I spoke about it on one of the Breaking the Cages, I'm not sure. And that we're also starting to see between the Schumann resonance, the solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and like the vortex of energy going in between, that we're also getting hit with energies that I guess scientifically they haven't come out and said is true yet, or they're not going to tell you it. In the ways of spiritual and physical levels of Phantosmia. And along with this energy is going to be dealing with that as we're coming into that acclimation of our body and transcending and upgrading of our body has a lot to do with oxygen. It has a lot to do with oxygen and a lot to do with your blood. Funny how that also all hits while we're having the harvest moon. And that's why I'm saying it's like the reaping of the 19-year cycle coming to an end, of your spiritual growth, of your maturity, of your body starting to acclimate and change. There's so much here going on. Now, as I start to get into this, first off, Spirit is reminding me that last week they were talking about watch out for behaviors, for insidious behaviors of yourself and of others. And they were reminding me how also they gave the mystic Rasputin with the, what family was that? Russian family, Russian dynasty family. Do I have it written down here? No, because that's not really the situation. It's more of the Rasputin and the insidious behaviors has to do with something starting small and gradually growing and growing and growing bigger, like into a wildfire and taking over. Now, they're saying in our own minds, uh, in our own minds, especially if we're in a negative way, if something's happening at the moment in a negative way, and it's like you can see sometimes, you know, the negativity has gotten a hold of you, and sometimes you're like trying to get yourself out of it, and the more you're trying to get yourself out of it, the deeper you seem to get in it, like quicksand, or like a freight train that's just, it's full steam ahead, and it's like you can't break free until you break free. And this is what they mean also in some forms of our own insidious behaviors. Start off with something negative, another little negative, and before you know it, it's full steam ahead, and we're in a negative direction with whatever is going on with our thinking and our thoughts. This also has to do with the belief systems that we've been given, we've been trained to live by. And it's acknowledging when we are in them and when we need to step away from them, and allowing ourselves the acknowledgement of that. Remember, Spirit was saying the last 2 weeks that nothing goes to waste. Every bit of our energy, of our life, of our breath, of the essence of what we are, have been, and will be. Nothing goes to waste. So it is all part of the lesson of where you are at right now on your path. And there's no point in holding on to the negatives that have come before, because it's just about honoring who you have been, where you have been, what you have been, the lessons you have learned, and that's it. No needing to try to keep picking up that baggage and carrying it with us. So don't get yourself in that train wreck of a situation where you see it happening and you just keep going towards it on accident. This is part of us acknowledging when we're doing these things, and learning how to pull ourselves away by acknowledging, plain and simple, acknowledging that it's happening so we can learn to change the way we are thinking. That has a lot to do with this partial eclipse, this equinox, full moon in Pisces, harvest moon, 19-year cycle coming to an end. A lot of this has to do with oxygen, like I was saying, and spiritual and physical levels of Phantosmia. Understand, first off, an eclipse is the sun and the moon. So you're talking about automatically the energies that take place in Leo and in Cancer. In the body, hold on. Like I said, I got notes everywhere. In the body, I'm trying to get to it. In the body, this is the heart, the spine, the blood, circulation, all things of vital forces. That's the Leo energy. That is the sun energy. Remember, the eclipse is taking place automatically, meaning is attacking the heart. It is attacking the heart and the spinal cord, which has to do with the zeal point, which spins all of its energies up and down all chakras, including far beyond the 7 main chakras. I'm talking about the chakras of lower consciousness, going all the way down to our feet. I'm not speaking of the ones outside of us. I am speaking of the 7 below us and the 7 above. And then Cancer speaks to us of the stomach, the breast, your solar plexus in general, diaphragm, and the upper part of the liver, as well as food poisoning. Now, that has something to do with this week because, like I said, we're looking first off at the body and what is being affected. First off, it's the heart, the spine, and all of the communication coming into the heart whether it's positive or negative, connecting with the head, which I'm going to get to in a second, and going up and down the spine, sending all of its communication through all chakras, dealing with baggages of baggage, blockages, all sort of information. Then you're talking about Cancer getting into the stomach, the diaphragm, and the upper liver. A lot of this is going to have to do with the liver and the kidneys. But like I said, it's really coming all the way back down to oxygen. When we get into where is the solar place, the eclipse and the full moon and the equinox taking place, it's in Pisces. Pisces is in the feet. Feet are responsible for every place you go. Every place you walk yourself into, which is good or bad, they are ultimately responsible for it. Pisces is also holds some of the most negative of energies when we get it in from a negative perspective. It is our inner blindness. I'm trying to find. It is our inner blindness, our most malice, our destructiveness, our hatred, consciencelessness, meaning don't have a conscience about it. You don't feel bad about the things that you say when you're in your negatives. And your inner blindness of feeling like the world owes you, like you've put it in and why aren't you getting it back? The world owes you. Then you take that Pisces energy when it's in its lower perspectives, because this is what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with overcoming those lower vibrations. So we're in the higher vibrations of what Pisces is, dreamy and mystical and understanding from a magical perspective. But when we're caught in brokenness, you're getting caught in these negative energies. Pisces, where the eclipse, the full moon is taking place, going to go directly into Aries. It goes from the feet to the head. Okay? From one end to the other. So you're talking about straight conversation from the bottom of you and the lowest of all malice and hurtful energies that reside and are hiding in you, that you're still in denial of, which is in the feet. This is why when you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, why you stub your toe, why you twist your ankle, because these are your body trying to tell you that you're in your negatives, that you're doing things that are harmful to you, insidious behaviors. And then it's going directly up to Aries to start all over again and recreate. Aries is the head, it is the brain, it is the way the brain functions. It is how we see and hear and view the world outside of us. Aries this week has energy sitting directly on the eyes. Okay, the eyes also are not just about what you view and see, but we're also talking about the ability to see. We're also talking about how when you have blockages, it starts messing with your eyes, how you have gritty eyes, how you have weighed down eyes, how you're feeling extra tired. Okay, so you first off got the chest, you're getting into the solar plexus and into the stomach, coming right on down into where we're going to have these other energies taking place. Because what is this eclipse, full moon, equinox all talking to? It's talking to Virgo and Libra, putting us directly in the energies of the liver and directly in the energies of kidneys. So now you're at solar plexus, sacral chakra, heart chakra, the very top, your crown, and the very worst of what we are. And we're learning how to overcome this. Now, coming into where I'm going back into the fact of this has a lot to do with oxygen, because of where spirit has spoken to me about the Phantosmia, spiritual energy of the Phantosmia. That has a lot to do with often viewed as like hallucinating, that you're smelling burning energy, like like a heat lamp or an electric heater, um, smelling, false burning energy, false light, false warmth. Okay. And in this energy, we're also talking about not just smelling it, but tasting it. Now we're coming into the fact of I'm bringing you back into the blueprint a little bit more. And you were talking about, we're really looking at the energies of what we're breathing in. Carbon monoxide is a part of your body, but it can easily become a poison that is that you breathe in, again, from, I've got more information right here, that you can breathe in from all sorts of different burning things. Fuel, let me find it. I'm sorry, hold on. Fires include burning of wood, fireplaces, gas logs, um, barbecues, grills. For people who smoke, you can have this problem, creating too much carbon monoxide in and bringing it into your blood. Now you're going to start hearing more. I'm saying this has to do with the blood. Okay. Bringing it into the blood, bringing it, paint fumes could be a problem here. Heaters, malfunctions of wood, coal burnings, water heaters, cookers, dryers. These are all things that could help you get the confusion of the spiritual and physical phantosmia, the smelling of the burning. But this has to do with also us getting radiation energy from the solar flares, the electromagnetic storms. We are going to be having an electromagnetic storm. It's showing it already starting on the 16th, starting right back up. And I guarantee you it'll be going right through those eclipses. Not to mention the Schumann is probably going to be flatlining again, as well as the solar flares. We have had an X flare 2 days ago. We've had many M flares, I think 4 yesterday. So, I mean, there's plenty of this energy still going around, and we're stuck up in the middle of it, of that vortex of all of this energy. Then when we get into our individual lives, creating more of the carbon monoxide, because that's what it's turning into. It's turning into the situation of what we're breathing in. And this is why it's important, especially for you smokers. I'm a smoker, I have to admit it too, that, you got to lay low. And if you're feeling or smelling or sensing this kind of energy, back up, because this is not good. This has to do with bringing in more and creating more carbon monoxide within the body than what it should be, because what you're breathing in and the oxygen that you are dealing with has a lot to do with the liver as well as with the kidneys, and how it is dealing with removing toxins in the body. And it works better when the oxygen that is in the body is healthier. When it is being poisoned or have a too high level of carbon monoxide, we start having more problems. And this is us dealing with the shifting of the energy in general. Now, hold on. I've got a little bit more to explain with that. So I can get myself in here. When we are getting more of the carbon monoxide in our body, it reduces our ability of the blood to carry the oxygen through the organs and into the tissues. It could cause fatigue, headache, confusion, dizziness, nausea, and rapid breathing. getting back to, like I said, we get some of this energy coming in from like a radiation standpoint, which is turning into carbon monoxide within our body. And this is what we're having to shed away from. When it is in the air, in the air in general, it gets into the oxygen in which we are breathing and puts it into our bloodstream, which then makes it harder on our bodies and it makes it harder on the organs. The kidneys have a special relationship with oxygen. When it is high in oxygen, it is working healthier. When it is lower in oxygen, it starts causing all kinds of different diseases, vulnerable and low oxygen. Um, you'll have problem with circulation, with the kidney, because of the kidneys. The kidneys is what removes the carbon monoxide and other toxins from our body, like through our urine. When it's going through the ulcer, not the ulcer, through the liver, it is sending it through the body in different ways instead of removing it. So this has a lot to do with the energies and what's happening, and then the conversations that you are having with your solar plexus, with your sacral chakra, with your heart chakra, then to the crown and to the feet, to the truths of the worst parts of ourselves versus where are we and truly being in power of our own power and allowing our minds to work, not to be in hive mind mentality. Is there anything here? Because I can't go too much deeper. I don't have all day. But this has everything to do with blood circulation, which is why I posted a few days ago. Ultimately, it is really paying attention to your kidneys, really paying attention to illnesses that deal with kidneys, diabetics and stuff on this line. It's dealing with your glycose, it's dealing with your metabolism, all of the oxygen that's in your blood or lack of oxygen that's in your blood. So, long story short, this harvest, this reaping has a lot to do with us purifying our blood. Purifying our blood the best that we can and keeping it in that higher vibration, even though we know we're acclimating to changing on the planet that actually has harmful energies. But we're learning how to know how to override that, as well as introducing more important things. I mean, helpful ways like salt lamps into your house, things that help purify the air, snake plants, because in certain plants help purify the air. Having these things in your home and helping for your breathing and for your sanctuary, long story short. But then for within ourselves, it's applying the proper foods that we need to use to help us, purify our blood so that we're getting more oxygen in us and not getting caught up in carbon monoxide, which is coming also through some of these energies of what's happening within the planet. Okay. So I don't know how else to do it. There's just so freaking much for me to talk about. I don't have time to go through it all. You have that eclipse, which is taking place again, like I said, with the full moon in Pisces. Speaking about our inner blindness, our inner depression, our feeling free that everybody owes me, feel free to steal, take it, I don't care. Lower vibrations of these attitudes. Pisces has Saturn, Nessus, and Neptune in it. Rules, walls, boundaries, your magic to create positive or negative. Fantasy hits you in the face smack you in the face with harsh ass reality, and Nessus the curse, the ancestral curse of where we keep having the same problem over and over again. The Pisces, the 12th house, universally is a healing house when we can get out of our own way and out of our denial. You have the moon here amplifying it as we're going through this energy, talking about our destructiveness, our revenge, our hatred, our scorn, our tortured energies. A lot of us warriors, a lot of us light workers, a lot of us soul dividers, soul searchers, spiritual path, all of us who anybody who's listening to this, there's an enormous amount of us who are still working through our own spiritual healing of our PTSD. And this is really twisting on those pieces. Really going, how are you really there? Are we really healing? Because that's what the 12th house is all about. Letting go, grave sorrow, shame, blame, skeletons in the closet, pointing the finger. And then you have Pluto again. Pluto is now back. I'm starting at the bottom, working our way up in the blueprint itself. Pluto is now in Capricorn. It has gone back into Capricorn. So it has gone back in time to everything that we've been working on, trying to get rid of, and come into a new world and showing that it's capable. It's showing us where we still have hiccups that we have not fixed. Throwing all of that stuff in our face, going, this is your last chance until November, mid-November, going, these are the outside situations you have not corrected. And you only got until November until that door closes. And Pluto in Capricorn is the knees, being flexible. It is being able to bend. But Capricorn in its negative is speaking about jealousy, inadequacy, inferiority, helplessness, needing to covet everything because they're afraid that they will lose it. It is not just Pluto here, the death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. It is Pholos and Sirius. It is also karma, the threefold, everything you nurture or neglect versus full loss. What are you coveting and why? Why is it what I like to call vampire syndrome? Like, I have to have this, and even though I know that it's not good for me, I really wish I could get rid of it. But can you please take it from my cold dead hands? Because I just cannot hand it to you. What are the things that you are still coveting, and why are you coveting it? We aren't meant to be attached to anything. How flexible are you, yet grounded in everything that you are by knowing who and what you are? Now let's go and flip that energy over, come back to the top of the head. Chiron, North Node, Eris. Trouble, toil, and strife is Eris. North Node, everything you need to learn in order to move forward. Chiron is the wounded healer. This is literally all on the cheeks and the eyes. This has mainly everything to do with how are the eyes handling the world that you are seeing, and why is it seeing it the way you are seeing it? Are your eyes heavy? Are your eyes gritty? Are they sore? Because that's because you're looking at the negatives. You're looking at the things that feel heavy. You're still viewing from the heavy perspective of that hive mind. If you're in that energy. Taurus is got Uranus in it, literally on the spine. So it's coming right into that zeal point. It is the connection of the connection. It's the connection to what you speak, what you hear, what you see, what you know, how you choose to do it or don't, feeling in your power. It's speaking to all chakras, oversensitive. Like I said, it's the spine itself. It's not literally on the throat this week, but it is literally on the connection of being sensitive to every single chakra. And where are we flowing with proper circulation versus having blockages in our expression? and the expression of the way and how and what we speak and hear and see of this world coming from us. Gemini has Jupiter, which is on the ribs. This has to do with that carbon monoxide, your CO levels versus your oxygen levels, because it's the ribs. It is protecting the lungs. It is protecting that liver. It is protecting all of that energy inside. Jupiter is abundance. It is how it is opening and expanding for that oxygen to be able to be there and get what it needs to carry it through? Or is it getting short breaths because you're overwhelmed? When we come into Virgo, you're on the liver, and this is dealing with irritability. This is your gut, but it's higher. It's solar plexus energy. I am energy, believing in that power of you. And where is that a problem with inner frustration, inner anger, inner irritability, inner PTSD, inner depression within that solar plexus? And what's here in Virgo? Directly across, these are pretty much directly across from where the eclipses are taking place in the full moon this week. So everything is revolving around this. Mercury and Vista, the keys to your fire, the keys to opening all the doors, has everything to do with your inner communication with you and your routines, your daily routine, your daily mundane tasks, as well as your daily dose of insidiousness. And where are we breaking that cage within ourselves? It speaks to us of blood detoxification, regulation, and clotting. It stores our fat and it handles our cholesterol. Coming into Libra, which is your relationship zone, but it is directly on the kidneys. You have Lilith, Juno, and Venus in the sacral chakra. Your relationship with yourself, feeling secure within your own body, but also within the relationships that you have. And we're talking about ridding ourselves of the anxiety and the depression and a negative outlook from these things. Dealing with removing of waste, removing of the blood, returning clean, healthy blood back to the body, balancing our fluids and our blood pressure. Everything here this week literally is coming down to purifying the blood and having proper oxygen and not getting caught up in spiritual Phantosmia and allowing any of that outer energy to help cause illness that we're trying to override. You have a grand trine this week, which is lasting all week long, which is very good energy. This is Pluto speaking with Uranus, is speaking with the sun. That's the 10th house, universally in the outer world, about our honor, our reputation, our prestige, but also about the social world outside of us, your jobs, your careers, your honor. I mean, your jobs, your careers, your political arena, the rules and the regulations of the outer world, working with your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, standing in who you are and trying to feel secure within that. And then it's showing it in the sun, which is still in the 6th house. All of this is earth, grounding yourself in it, grounding yourself in the ability to be the best you and make the changes, believe in yourself and do it. This is wonderful energy. You have Jupiter, which is getting along great with Venus. Venus is in that 7th house. Like I said, in the kidney energy, your solar plex, sacral chakra energy. It is Jupiter is in the third house, your communication. It's literally communicating to you having healthier relationships by pointing out where you're not as comfortable with them. And why? Plain and simple, why? Acknowledging the truth in that. And then what do you do from there? Mars is getting along great with Saturn. Your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, and your inner emotional security. That's fire and water. This is finding resolution within oneself, being able to be both fire and water, both the warrior and the wisdom. And then speaking with Saturn about acknowledging where we're not moving forward and what we have to change in order to move forward for rules, walls, and boundaries. Changing the boundaries, changing the positioning, or setting brand new ones. You have Jupiter, which is getting along with Chiron all week. This is your communication with who you are and allowing yourself to heal. Nothing goes to waste. Everything is about your communication and how and why you're communicating with yourself that way, and what your belief system is to why you're still communicating with yourself that way, or are we changing that? Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto have been getting along great for a while. This is learning how to come into your power, learning how to step into that and breathe it back into existence. The problem is you have Saturn and Nessus in that 12th house, which is not getting along with Mercury and not getting along with Vesta. Changing those routines, maybe something you don't really want to do. You're comfortable in it. But you can communicate to yourself and to the outer world why it needs to be done if you're willing to. But you may have to step out of your comfort zone, because this is making changes in the outer world of our mundane tasks, our mundane activities, our energy diet, so to speak, and what we do with our activity during the day. Saturn and Nessus, your rules, your walls, your boundaries, that I still have a crutch and I'm still stuck in this energy, because that's Nessus, the curse of not being able to get out of this energy, because this is the only energy I know. It's not getting along with Jupiter. It's not getting along with you communicating something different, because that means change. That means stepping into a new world, stepping into a new idea, stepping out of your comfort zone, which then is not getting along with the sun, which is not getting along with those routines and changing them and making them healthy for you, which then is not getting along with Neptune. So it's a feeling of why bother? A feeling of, do I really even want that? That's too much just for this. No. That's that cursed mentality, that hive mind mentality, that nothing can change what we want. We are our creators of our own reality, but we have to realize where we're still creating shit reality and what we have to do to change it. Lilith and the South Node and Juno are not getting along with the North Node or Mars. Lilith, South Node, Juno, sacrificing commitment, standing in your power, believing in yourself, getting past your comfort zone in these relationships, and loving yourself first so that you can teach others to love you right. But then finding the inner emotional security to believe in it and actually do it. It's all right here. I love you guys. I will see you next week.